Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Year's winding down. One more meeting after this year. So, okay. Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes from last week?
I did, yes.
Any corrections or additions?
I didn't see anything. There's so many figures in there, I presume that they're all correct. I'd make a motion to approve the minutes as presented. I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passed 3-0.
Just dropping some off the path.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Public comment. Any commissioner comments or committee reports?
Well, we did meet with Mark, which is the Midwest Regional Council, talking about what would require for us to become members. Roger Denton and I represented the county, and it was a very good conversation. Sounds like there's some opportunities, but it's not automatic. They want us to participate. Just make sure we want to, date, and then we'll get engaged, and then maybe we'll get married. So I think the way they approach it is they just don't want us to join and be disappointed. It sounds like a good organization to me. I'm pretty excited, but it all comes to us with how much we participate. So that's the kind of a key.
Okay. I had general corrections. There was a lot of the board absent, and next time Shelley comes up, I'm going to bring that up. When people don't show up, it's hard to get anything accomplished.
Okay. I did not have any meetings or anything this week. New business before the board. Do you have anything? Maybe till Pat gets here and Seth gets here at 1:15. We're going to review the bills. Do we have anything else to discuss before Seth gets here?
Very sad.
Did you have some that you kept out that we were going to talk about?
I just kept out.
Put that one over there. Now I put Jackson Farmers back in here because we figured out where it was at.
Well, the only other thing I want to bring up is we're paying to have the little change in the ambulance, which I think is ridiculous.
Okay. Seth, I had a question. We had a bill from Urban Lawn Care for a tube.
Yes, that was part of that same project where I did the trees. There was a retaining wall through the property up on the country club. They had to actually tear the retaining wall out or it was too thin. So I just let them take care of that with the retaining wall. It was all inclusive deal there. So
okay. Who's retaining? Was it our retaining wall?
It was the landowner's retaining wall. So we would have had to dismantle it. We put it back up in order to make it work around the tube.
Is that retaining wall the landowner's responsibility and wouldn't be ours, would it? I mean, is it a ornamental thing? Is it a?
It was basically holding her bank back from washing the ditch out. What was there for?
Once we furnish a tube, that's from then on, it's up to the landowner, isn't it?
Yes and no, because more of it was a ditch repair. The whole tube project was a ditch repair project that we started. We just replaced the tube to help with our project that we wanted, because it was a riprap ditch that was eating out into Country Club Road. So in order to fix that, we needed to remove the tube, put a new one in, extend it, and then also fill the ditch back up with dirt and slope it. If you drove out there, you could see it. But what the ditch was doing was eating into the road. So the whole project was to raise the ditch level, make it where the road wasn't washing, and repair the two.
Where was that located at? In that
Country
city,
Club,
in that city limits?
it's got a county side.
Is that where the tree had to be removed?
Yes.
Okay.
It was all one. He just
Okay.
did separate bids on the tree work compared to the tube work. And the ditch tube work was all one style project. We didn't, I mean, we have a skid steer, but it took a track machine. It took more machine than we had for us to go rent the machine to get it done, so we just contracted that portion.
Does EMS inquire about Jeremy changing all ambulances?
I'm not that I'm aware of. I'm not
We
usually.
had 4 or 5 bills today. I think that should be done in-house.
Yeah, I have not spoken to Corey about that.
I will talk with Corey. I may have an ambulance meeting this month with him, I believe. So.
Bring that up. That we do have that service. I mean, it's not like it's going to be free, but I mean, that money will go into the road and bridge where we pay R&S and some. They were like 4 or 5 of them, 45, 48 bucks a piece.
We'd basically be doing it at cost versus profit. So. Okay. I know it's a little early. You want to come on up? Because
Well, I got POs if we have time for that.
okay.
We can't officially open until 1.
Correct.
Right, but he's got POs which we can act on.
And we spoke this morning about the culvert bid. As I had stated, I would like to separate the end sections and eliminate the bands from the bid for now. So what I have there is presented would be the culvert purchase from Wellburn Sales without the bands per the bid, and then separated the end sections and purchased those from J&J Drainage per the bid.
Okay, this is everything that we opened last week except for the ends and sections, correct?
Correct.
88,000. Okay, is there any other questions or discussions on these? I guess we'll do them one at a time. Do I hear a motion to accept the bid from Wellburn Sales in the amount of $89,777.50?
Didn't we do that last week?
We opened them.
We opened it, we didn't accept
Okay.
the bid.
I make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Passed 3-0.
Okay. Next one I have.
Just a second, we've got a second one here.
Oh.
Let's sign this thing. Second one. Pass it to your right again. And the second, do I hear a motion to accept the bid from J&J Drainage for Road and Bridge for flared in sections in the amount of $18,044.30?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it, Mr.
It's
Chairman.
been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Pass 3-0.
And then you were going to make them honor the connectors at that price when you decided what you wanted to do.
Correct. Next one is for the aluminum box structure for Lincoln Road.
Okay, this is
That's the one that Matt had in the works, never accomplished.
again, this is a bid to Wilburn Sales in the amount of $37,530.86. You say which road is that for?
Lincoln Road.
Lincoln.
Are we getting them long enough, wide enough, however you want to
Yes,
say it?
goes right away to right away.
We're going to say, I'm just going to say for the camera that you were in this morning and we went through the bids. There's 2 other companies' bids, so this was a bidded project. Do I hear a motion to accept?
I make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed 3-0. Did I say how much? Yeah, $37,530.86.
It must be a pretty good size culvert.
36 long. Specs on here. 20, 18 wide or something.
So we're going to do that in-house.
The concrete we may subcontract out, but everything else will be built in now.
Stuff like this is basically, I know it's about culvert, but considered like a bridge improvement. We ought to make that where we're making improvements.
Correct. It's actually eliminated a wooden bridge structure. So and that's actually marked on that map there that it's to replace this year or next year.
Okay. Do you have anything more before the bid opening?
I do not.
What about the class?
Yes, that's what I was going to
Okay.
bring up.
Yes, I have a PO here if you guys would like me to attend this.
Okay, there's a class that we've been considering Seth taking, which is pretty much a year-long commitment, 2 days a month, correct? The total amount for the class is $3,500. And who's this through again? It's not
I
on
believe
there.
through KU.
It's,
Um,
I think it's from the University of Kansas,
Correct.
and it's basically the same curriculum that public administration majors would go through at the school.
it's a graduate
And it teaches leadership and how to deal in governments, grant writing, all kinds of different subjects.
Correct.
And I know that Graff at the city's taken it. I believe
Sure.
the sheriff has taken it. I know Mike Steck has taken it, and there may be others. So we've had experience. Of course, I guess I would say as a commissioner, I would expect Seth to be a functional participant in it and show up. And I mean, it's an expensive thing. It's for your personal development.
I would agree with that. There's going to be days that, but you're just going to have to make sure that you line the guys out before you go and give them some direction.
To me, my opinion wasn't the $3,500. It was the days that he's going to be gone, which we're always shorthanded anyway. But I think all in all, I think the training is worth it. So on that note, if there's no further discussion, do I hear a motion to accept the approve the amount of $3,500 for Seth to take this class through KU?
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pass 3-0.
And you're going to have to get a hold of them right away because that first class is.
Well, I need to get registered because there was only 3 openings left. So I will, as soon as I get out of here,
She
I'll.
probably needs a copy of this, don't you?
Well, you need to sign.
I have everything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Have you already given Michelle copies of all of this? As long as I can get copies, would be
I'll let you take them all. I'll just, actually, I'll make copies.
I think you need them, so copies.
Okay, I think it's time we can do the bid opening now.
Alrighty.
Where
3
did Pat
bids
go?
this time.
Pat say he wasn't coming back? Right.
No, he didn't say.
He was going to make that phone call. I don't know.
Well, maybe he's gotten wrapped up. That's fine. Go ahead. I'm
I got 3 bids, one from Ham, Marlack Construction, and Martin Construction. Alright. Okay, for Hams Incorporated, for the 206 road culvert replacement, $159,948.
That's to put in a tube of our own.
Correct. So I'm not really sure. This was kind of a last
That's
minute.
I don't want to do it, dude.
Oh. That's how we can buy a crane and do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Next one would be Marlack Construction. $19,458. A little bit more like it. And then Martin Construction. $8,300 or $8,300. Sorry, $8,300.
Wow.
That's a little bit of a spread.
That's a huge
light.
spread.
The
For
city of
real.
Hams wasn't bid correctly.
Yeah, something was off on that.
And I'll speak with them. Yeah, I know I spoke with Austin this morning, and he was confident in this bid, and we discussed everything on the bid spec. So I'll double check with him just because the price difference.
I don't think that's necessary. I think the bid is the bid and go with the bid.
Okay. So
If Ham's made a mistake, that's on them.
yeah,
I think I don't want to do it, bid.
Yeah, there's something crossed there somewhere. So do I hear a motion as far as
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, we accept the Martin's bid of $8,300.
I would second that.
any other discussion?
And you say we have that two, but we don't have two yet.
yeah, it's sitting on site. It's ready
So
to go.
you can
They
go
have
forward.
2 months from today, or as soon as I call him to complete.
Is that going to be a road closure for a day or two? Or?
He's thinking, when I talked to him, a 2-day process. And he said almost a 1-day deal. So
Do they notify some of the neighbors inconvenience?
yes, we'll send out a code red for all the neighbors down there. That's just a video for that.
Okay, it's
Copies.
been moved and seconded to accept the bid in the amount of $8,300. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Pass 3-0.
You know, this has never come up before, but I'm sure Martin's will bond you. Everything. Sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can double check next year, but I wouldn't see them getting any other projects without being bonded next year. All right. I think that's all. Unless you have anything else for me.
I don't see that I have anything. Do we have anything planned yet as far as a township meeting, when we're going to do it, what we're going to have? Do you have anything? Last year we had K.S.A. guys speak. I didn't know what Norm Bowers. I was going to say if we need to start thinking about what we're going to have kind of as a feature speaker or something and on an agenda for that, because that's going to be coming up here. We did it in February last year, didn't we, or March?
Is there any surrounding counties that have minimum maintenance roads now and the program set up like Donaldson County? Do they have any?
I'm really not sure on the
That might be somebody that has some experience. That might be somebody to come talk.
Because with what's going on currently with middle maintenance roads, I think if we have the 3 townships presented and they can give their feedback to the others, and if there is more, maybe that meeting can be a good information to deal with the township.
Norm did a very good one, but it was too broad. We need to bring it in from Atchison County.
Actually, stuff that's going on now. I've had a guy from Benton Township, a trustee I don't know if he's the trustee, but for Benton Township, and he is really interested in having some kind of fine for people that get stuck on these roads, and that would have to be set up through township, but it would
if they'd
ultimately have to
agree to the same.
But it would have to be enforced also.
Enforcement would be, we would have to have sheriff on board with that too. So that could be a possible target of or topic of what we would have, and that's just right around the corner here. If we want to have another one.
Anything you guys like, I can find speakers for. If we need to bring a speaker in, or whatever agenda items, we can process some information and get it on the agenda. And like I said, we can find speakers for about anything. So K.S.A. has not only Norm, but there's other speakers that can come in and discuss whether it's middle maintenance road problems or any type of issues that want to be more in depth on. They have speakers for most of those.
I think if we try to keep it fairly nuts and bolts and local instead of a broad topic, because
I thought it was good, but now I think we need to hone it into Atchison County Township.
Anything to do with, we were talking about township meetings, and I said, I've got a guy from Benton Township that would like to have some kind of policy as far as a fine for people being on these roads when it's too muddy, that that are not local, they're joyriding, they're getting stuck, they're hunting and things like that. And of course, it's the enforcement is the tricky part of that.
That's the big issue, yeah.
So that was just a topic I had brought up. If there's anything,
I think that's something to be definitely discussed.
so
The thing is, catching people in the act is like impossible, right?
unless they are stuck,
Yeah.
then
Then you send the sheriff out there to arrest them, and they get stuck. Now you gotta.
you wait till they pull them out and wait on the end when they come out to the gravel road. And I live around a lot of those roads, and people that live on them pretty well respect them because they know what it's like. They're only going down there if they have to feed cattle or there's something major like that. But I know I had a problem, and if it happens again, I'm going to speak with 377. But when they have a school district, because they had a day during Pride Week when they had drive your muddy truck to school day. Well, the road a half a mile south of me is a dirt road with one ditch that's basically a spring, and you can see right where people would pull off and they would spin their wheels and get the truck all full of mud, and it's at the cost of that road. And to me, that was not something for the school to be sponsoring. I mean, kids should have known better to do that anyway, and the parents should not be happy with it. But to me, that was almost a sanctioned event, and it was at the expense of that road. So what if a kid drove off in that ditch and got overturned or hurt or something too? It's almost a sanctioned event. So things like that should be cut out. So if you can think on topics like that, we'll talk about it in the near future.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I had a very creative spirit week.
Well, they have to drive your tractor to school.
Hey, you're out of high school. You can't do it.
That's been 8 years, 9 years since I've been out of high school.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. 1:30 is our next appointment, which is River Bluff and Joe Bowen.
That's what he's salary.
Is the statute. The statute requires us to. We always have. It's universal across the state. There's a statute that
How many of those things are you aware of? What's it for? Where's the money coming from? This is just a transfer from one fund to.
Well,
That's not a question for you to have to answer.
Well, I don't know all the specifics. It says on here, please utilize Fund 163, crime prevention funds available, but those are donated funds. I think they have probably, it has to do with having cash available for confidential informants to make controlled buys.
You mentioned something like that.
And I don't know what else.
Okay, are we gonna? Where we have just for a couple minutes.
Did you get that phone call?
It went to that voicemail, press 1 for, press 2, and I'm neither answered.
Were you going to leave a message?
I decided not to, just because I didn't want to think we were rushing on it.
Okay.
So,
What about an email? Would that be? I mean, because an email would be they could answer at their leisure or when they felt comfortable.
yeah.
I mean, personally, I think we should wait till afterwards because I know myself, I don't like to take a whole lot of business calls on Sundays.
Well, let's wait till next week.
Okay.
My plan is just wait till Thursday, which I think it's over. We'll call on Thursday.
Okay,
2 more days.
Yeah.
That
that sounds good. I'm going to skip ahead to old or unfinished business. Anything we've got? County councilor updates, anything short? Because I don't know when the appointment's going to be at 1:30. So.
There had been a discussion about
county paying for memberships, and I had done some research on that, at least what our policy had been, and put a question on the county council listserv about it, and most counties did not have a formal policy. Most the ones that responded, so I shouldn't say most counties. There were 5 or 6 that responded. It seemed to be the policy was in general that they encouraged membership in organizations and paid membership dues for Kiwanis, Rotary, and Lions were all mentioned. And then in addition, there were professional organizations like the Sheriff's Association or the County Clerks Association or the County and District Attorneys Association, etc. Those things, which I guess are a little bit different. Wyandotte County had a more comprehensive system where they basically just gave each of the commissioners a budget for travel and training, and they could do with it what they wanted. Atchison County said they did not have a formal policy. They provide networking. Harvey County said, again, they don't have a formal issue or a formal policy, but they did what Atchison County did. Civic groups. Miami County, the same thing, no policy, but they said they maintain membership in nearly all of the organizations that have been discussed.
Did any differentiate between memberships and meals?
No. Seward County also said they require them to put it in their budget proposals for approval. I think
one thing that was brought up when we discussed this a couple weeks ago that I didn't realize, I think the meal is $10, but on the bill it shows it a lot more. But that extra goes towards something else that it wasn't meals. Now, am I correct?
that's what somebody said last, that there's a donation component.
Yeah, some kind of donation. But
Well, there's a donation made every month to the
meal
Rotary
$10.
fund, or there's a Rotary Foundation, and then there's a monthly dues to belong to the organization. And I would think that the donation to the Rotary Foundation should be the responsibility of the individual who belongs.
Well, why don't we table that since our appointment's here? So, our 130's here.
Hi there, how are you all doing today?
The clerk has a bid, so.
Oh.
Okay. I can get these separated. Maybe. Here we go. For you guys.
Thank you.
Bids here, good.
It's if you want to keep track of bids. You need a pen? I have a pen.
Yeah.
Yep.
That one.
I have a plethora because you might have one.
Yeah. Thank you.
We can get started.
Wonderful. These will be the bid opening for the door replacement here at the courthouse. So we will start and just go in order on our sheet there and do Lee Grover.
Out of where?
Sorry,
Where are they from?
they're from St. Joe. Okay. This one is 67,477. Work will be completed in 100 days. And they have both addenda and have their bid bond.
54, wasn't it?
60.
64?
67,477. 67477.
I just had the first one. Wow. I thought the first one was bad. That could be.
So this one's going to be from Mike Hunley, and they're from Atchison here. They have their bid bond. This one is 61,833. So 61833. And we'll complete the work in 120 days and have both addenda. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
work putting this together. You too. Merry Christmas.
So is there anything to look at there to compare before we?
There's one thing I'd like to point out that the fobs that we had talked about.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
The fobs that we had talked about, this does not include that. It does include all the work that would have to be completed to put them in, which is just a couple of electrical push rods and stuff.
Okay, this is labor only, correct? Or is this full job?
This is full job.
Full job.
But it's not for the fobs. That's something I want to point out. It's some of the work. It's everything, so we wouldn't have to redo it if you wanted to put fobs in. But you put fobs in anytime you want.
I like the idea of fobs because we don't know how many keys is floating around.
Right.
But then if you lose fobs, you got to get more fobs, and what's the cost of fobs?
Yeah, the only good thing about it is if somebody loses them, you can just cross them off and they won't work.
Cancel them out. They
Yeah,
can't,
just
they won't
cancel
work
them
anymore.
out. Yeah.
So you could only replace, if two got lost, you could buy 2 new ones, reissue them with a new
I
code.
see.
Right,
That's
rather
not
than
so
doing
bad.
keys.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
that would be.
I think that's probably where we'll want to
I
go.
think so too.
Yeah.
But when we're down,
After the person who loses it pays.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea was that I talked to the guy who did the security over at the law enforcement center. So the idea was that we'd have whatever they need in place with this project, so that all you'd have to do would be come back in and tie that in later. So it looks like they're using. There's only a little bit of difference in it. They've got the same glass contractor, which is going to be the majority of the cost. They do have a different electrician. Hunley's using Gerber Electric here, where Lee Grover is using MD Electric, who's out of St. Joe. And they're using a different painter, but there's so little painting that probably isn't a big deal. I can go back to them and kind of ask if they see some ways to cut back on any costs. I know that this is higher than what Joe and I had even talked about, although it's
Well, we got 50 one, we thought.
35 to 40, I think.
Yeah.
But like I said, the arch in that would really throw a curve in it. It would be pretty hard to price it.
I would rather spend 61,000 and get some efficient doors than have to replace the wooden doors. And so that price really doesn't bother me.
Are the doors worth anything?
We have to keep them, don't we, on site as they.
Yeah, they'll take them up to the attic, and then Tom and I'll move them around and try to store everything up there, and it'll all be numbered where somebody later on wanted to restore them, they could. Okay. That's part of the historic society.
Okay.
What do you think? Is there a reason to accept these today? Do you want to look at them, or is there any reason to look at them, or is there?
I would say we either need to accept them or reject them both. I don't see going back to them, and because if you do that, just reject them both.
Well, I mean, it almost, Lee Grover could say, well, if I cut cost, I could get it down to 61.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You got to reject them or you got to approve them.
I don't know how comfortable you are with
I'm
the
comfortable with both of them. Yeah. They were both asking questions. I mean, I talked to both of their subs, so I don't.
Emory has done a lot of work for the county. He's always
Yeah.
done a pretty good job. He's always been good about coming back and something else. So
Yeah, this is Rob Emery.
Oh, this is Rob?
Rob Emery, not Mike. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he did help on some of it.
Okay.
They're both competent.
And Humbley did our elevator project.
Only
Yeah,
did
my
the,
Humbley did that.
mhm. Did the elevator, women's restroom, and the
Well,
electrical
I
upgrade.
can see where you got a guy local, you got a guy come from St. Joe, you'll have that $6,000 in
Yeah.
labor coming back and forth. So
Yeah,
when it all boils down to it, probably
Yeah, that's what makes it nice. They're pretty close. So
Yeah.
that kind of makes you feel
it's
a little
an
better.
advantage, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So is there any further discussion, or do we want to accept the bid from Michael Hunley? I assume that's the.
You got any input on it, Joe?
I would be comfortable with the bids where they are. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the contractors, I think, are great. Like Hunley, he'll be the one that does everything, and he's no way above what you need. So.
I don't know which color we went with, but can we get windows to match that on down the road if we decide to go with metal wrap windows?
Well, I talked to Sarah about that, and she said I think it was you, that a lot of times they don't match. It may be a reason.
No, we talked about it too, but you may have talked to
Well,
Brady
they need to
about
be
it as well.
close,
But
I
you
mean,
can do,
a
you
little
could do,
contrast.
you could do a metal window if you wanted to go with the dark bronze color, but you could also go with something that contrasted in it.
Well, I'd move to accept the bid from Michael S. Hunley Construction Company.
The amount of $61,833.
$61,833.
Okay, my only talk, did we have that much in the budget for it?
I don't have any money.
In the budget?
This will be coming out of county general. Correct?
Yes.
Well, I thought we put in 50,000 for doors and stuff. Maybe we didn't.
If you did, you put it in county general, and I don't see those funds.
I don't recall putting it in there.
I think in my budget, I can't think of it off the top of my head, there is a budget for stuff like that. That is-
Capital improvement budget,
Yeah.
maybe?
you might check it.
Well,
We don't have any capital improvements going, so.
the number of where it comes from is all come from the same place anyway, so I guess that's irrelevant.
But I'm thinking it's
Did you make the
20,000.
motion, sir? I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passed 3-0.
And you will notify Mick, or you will, or
Okay.
Are we good to go ahead and do a notice to proceed then? Based on, since it's been approved, I would assume that that's all good.
The more he does in the warmer weather would be better. But
True.
Is there any plans about how we're going to, if he's working out here, what are we going to do as far as,
They're phasing.
what
So
about security? Are there going to be security issues?
we had talked about that as well. So we're phasing the door, so they're only going to do one at a time. They're going to work on this one first, and then just do this one. And Joe and I had talked about the fact that with this being the only accessible door in the courthouse, that it would be used only for accessibility. So, and that had been brought up during the pre-construction or pre-bid meeting with them, that it'll be one where they need to maintain some accessibility. So if somebody came up and needed to get into the building that had accessibility needs, they could still come in. Otherwise, do a sign out front and just direct them around to the east door in the meantime.
Maybe a weekend project.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I would
we
prefer
discussed that. If they
Yeah.
had to shut it down for any reason, they're gonna have to do it on the weekend.
because they're not going to want people going in and out, and we got people that can't go up those stairs.
right.
It makes most sense to me just a Saturday or Sunday get it done. And
Well, what they're gonna have to do is, and they already know it, is they're gonna put a sign out there that if you're needing
access.
ADA access, that they will stop and make sure that you are allowed into the building. But otherwise, they will go to the east side if anybody that's capable. But for the most part, it should be open where there's not even a problem.
Most of the time they'll have some demo where they're tearing that down and tearing it out, and then it'll be a matter of getting the other door put together and installed. But they also know that the courthouse has to be secure in the meantime, so they're going to have to make sure that everything is safe and secure.
Yeah, and they've already said that they'll work weekends if that's what they have to do.
Yeah.
Because they're aware that that's the only entrance into this building, and we have to have it.
For accessibility, yeah.
Yeah.
But for both doors, they're aware that they have to make sure that it's secure.
And then the east door is not a problem because everybody can come in north.
Okay.
Is there anything that needs to be done with the railing or the sidewalk or anything out here?
All that meets ADA requirements as far as I know, and it's been
I
inspected
thought it
by
was too
Reed.
steep, you said.
The slope, everything out there.
It's good.
Yeah, Reed did the survey and everything out there. The sidewalk at that time wasn't up to standards. The city, we replaced it. The city put in the right ramps and we moved the ramps and stuff. And everybody should be, to get into the building, should be 100% ADA compliant.
Is there still issues with the curb and the street up front? Doesn't that need to be?
The street is, but that's the city. And it's because there's a slope that's above what's allowed in the street. Now, I don't know, the city doesn't know what to do about that. It's
Yeah.
pretty hard in this town where it slopes. I mean,
Yeah, same issue. Yeah.
so, but the cities, whenever they do the asphalt, they assured me that they would fix that problem. They'd address it at that time. Until then, they're okay, I guess, according to the standards, until they have to resurface it.
Was Sarah involved with the jail?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you pleased how that turned out? Or?
Yeah, they were finishing up everything when I was here. Was it a couple weeks ago that we met?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. In fact, I was going to go up there today and see how things were coming along. We had a list of a bunch of different miscellaneous things that they had to finish up. They were working on some metal work. And actually, Joe had met with them just a little bit before we met with them. And there was some metal that wasn't up to snuff, so they actually had to take that off, replace it, and do it so that it would look right. And they've been, I think, very good about coming back to work on fixing anything that was off. So I wanted to go by today and take a look at it while I was already down here, check it out, make sure how things are going, and hopefully run a punch list on it if they're ready to be done.
You mentioned the doors have to go up in the attic. Don't we have another location simpler to get them to? The building out there at EMS, that tin building with all the little cubicles in it, or that seems like an awful lot of work to take them up there. That's just adding more weight up there.
I'd much rather take them somewhere else, but if you're talking about where the ambulances are,
And that other off building, or any place besides up there, to me that doesn't make sense putting them up there.
yeah, I assume that building out there is going to go someday or something. I don't know, but
Yeah, I think
It
it's
may
gonna
be reopened, it may be redesigned, but it's not going to go.
okay.
Or you,
Or the
thrilled
land, or
if
the
we have
recycling
someplace else to
building.
go. And I'm sure
recycling
Congress-
center would happen to change hands possibly
That could be,
if we
that's
would ever
good.
put in more storage somewhere else. But I think that one there right
What if
next
we-
to the ambulance center is open.
Atchison County landfill, that'd be outside.
Well, sort of.
Maybe C and D.
Comment about that.
You're not going to go on record as stating on that one.
Okay.
That's the only thing I would think. I would not put them up there.
Well, I'm not in favor of it, but
I
don't
think-
know what else we have.
I think if that was, I think that would be their final resting place.
Yeah.
I think once they were there, I don't think they'd ever come back
Doors are
down.
going to be heavy getting them up there, then the excess weight, then you get 3 inches of dust on top of the doors.
Is there anything up there?
There's a lot of files on this end. There's some parts of the clock that's up there. That's about it. We had to take everything else out because of the insurance company. Because we either had to have the engineers tell us the load bearing of it or move it. So we moved it.
We almost need a little portable building such as across the road, but that's full. That's lawnmower and that for stuff like this.
Yeah, that big enough now.
Yeah, you would need
I mean another one.
the full block.
Do they have
Put
to
all
be
the stuff in.
specifically on the site here?
I would have to ask them, but it's my understanding as long as we have possession of it.
Okay.
I don't think they have to be on the site.
Okay.
I think, but I'd have to ask the state to make sure. But I knew that the only place I knew of was in the attic, so I didn't.
There'd probably be room in the scale house out there at the solid waste department.
No, it might be.
I'm trying to draw you in, Stacy.
We got places to put them, but I don't know.
I think we would, but I don't know if it's a historical site.
So since you're here, and I hate to get off subject, but across Fifth Street, there's a lot of flags for utilities. Is that something to do with us, or?
They were supposed to already put in our sidewalk, so I assume that's what before.
Usually after 7 days you can pull it. It looks terrible, those flags.
Okay. Well, we can pull them out.
They've been up for 2 or 3 weeks. Or longer than that.
Yeah, they're long. They've been in our, it's October, probably.
Yeah, I can pull them, I think. I'll get hold of the city.
I would check first.
Yeah.
I know that after 7 days you can pull them.
Yeah, because the permit's only good for so many.
Yeah. It just looks bad.
But I don't know why they haven't done the sidewalk yet.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty late on it this year.
Yeah.
We had talked about making a parking lot out of that vacant lot over there. Are those two big trees, would they both be on our property? And wouldn't they have to come down if you was ever going to put a parking lot in there?
The walnut tree belongs to the attorney's office. It's Warren's.
That's Warren's. I'm not for sure where that line is, but the other one would be
about
ours.
10 foot north of that walnut tree.
Okay.
Now the locust tree, I think it's a locust, is on us, and it would have to come out because that's basically where you can come to.
Yeah.
The original plan was to buy that where we actually owned the walnut tree, take out all the trees, and that would give us enough, plenty of room for 2 rows of separate parking. Without it, I don't know how much parking you can get there, and I don't know where it would.
Well, looking at the slope on that ground too, it looks like we would have to put a retaining wall at the east end there and build that up to make it accessible enough to park on that.
We was going to leave about 3 foot of green space and put a fence there. That was the original plan.
Okay.
And then it would slope all down there and then go out the driveway to water. And then you'd have parking on the north and to the south.
That's on our wish list, but
I think it would be a big benefit.
someday. But just trying to get our how that's going to work. Just trying to, as I drive by, I look at it. So.
Yeah, if we can't get that land 20 or 30 foot, I don't know, it's going to make it pretty tight to pull in and out. But, yeah.
Well, I bet if you talk to Mr. Waring and maybe give him 2 slots or something like that, he would go for it.
It'd be an advantage to him because it would still be his parking too. So.
Yeah, because we got customers taking his parking out front.
Right.
So,
Yeah, parking's pretty tight some days.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Anything
Well,
more?
thank you. I think that's good for today.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Door started.
Joe, can
Feel
I
like
copy
a
that,
whole
please? Just to get it to
Not
Michelle.
all the building,
Just,
but at least
yeah, just give it to Michelle and
It's a
let's take a
start.
copy.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hold it back. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
You can just leave them over there too, it's fine. I'll get them. I'm gonna get it over.
And you have notified Nick
Thanks.
or one of you will that they got the.
Yep. We'll send a note. Thank you.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Thanks. Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much.
Come on up.
Okay, nothing.
Well, that's when you get into specialty items like that, it's always extremely nice.
We're going to save. $300 a year. More electricity or gas, keeping the cold air
Bringing
out.
up the resolution for the snowplow.
Still on that same subject, but if it wasn't for the ADA compliance issue where we have to re-swing the doors, I wouldn't have accepted that bid. I think it's too high, but we're going to have to spend basically good money after bad if we're going to have to utilize the ones we have, spend that much money, then put the swingers on, and still have the inefficient doors. So it's
like 12,000 for the swimmer.
yeah, because we're going to have to swing all 4 doors because they were half an inch too narrow by swinging one.
Are we going to do just the fruit 2 doors, or will it be 4 doors?
The double, both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah. Okay. We were here this morning and presented us with 3 different bids for snowplows. And we chose this one for a Meyer snowplow with the cost of installation. The vendor name is Kranz of Kansas City. That's K-R-A-N-Z. And the amount of the bid was $4,685. Is there any more questions?
It was also the lowest bid, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
And they spent that,
You have foot wider.
And it was
that
the same.
That was installed.
Yes, and it was the same blade that we have with the Road and Bridge has 2 of them, so we're kind of staying consistent with parts and service.
I make a motion to accept the bid to Cans for $4,685.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Passed 3-0.
Now, with that snowplow frame, that won't interfere with hauling the cans or nothing like that. will it?
No, and we're not gonna put it on, until we need it. We'll take it off when we're not using it, put it on when we do need it.
The front plow, but you're still going to have the
Hangers and
the hangers. And
Right,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, that should all be in the front. That shouldn't interfere with.
Right.
Stacy had emailed.
Controls.
Stacy had emailed me this week and asking about how many bids she should bring, and I said I'd really like 3. So I know somebody done some work and found a couple more.
Yeah, because we were kind of having a hard time getting more than even just the one, but
We got 2 that's not sufficient.
we ended up with 3, getting 3
Which-
yesterday. 2 more came through. so it
Appreciate
worked out
that.
good.
And they were all fairly close, so
Yeah.
it gives us peace of mind that
That's something you'll probably get on as soon as the holidays get through, and you'll get
I'm going
that
to call them this afternoon and see
when they can get it set
when
up.
they can get it in.
Will that truck have to be taken to them?
now will the you're wanting that to happen on 2017 budget too, correct?
Right.
Will that get onto that budget, or will that have to be encumbered? Or
I think it should. I think it should, as long as we get it right on it and they bill out as quick as they.
okay,
Well, they could build it out and not have
True.
it completed. couldn't
Yeah. We actually go into January still paying December bills, so.
Okay.
If we get it right away.
okay.
we'll
I just
see that
want
this week and next week. So
to hopefully
yeah.
that'll all
That's
get
my goal.
taken care of. Okay,
All
thank you
right,
very
thanks.
much.
Stacy, can I get a copy?
You want to go there?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Yep.
That or email it to Michelle or whatever. It's fine. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think we were still on county councilor updates. Is there anything more than?
Pauline had said that she had been a member of the, not the Rotary, the chamber, and the county paid her membership, but she paid for her meals at their meetings. And I know Peggy is a member of Rotary, and I believe the county pays for her membership from the budget, from her budgets. So that was all. It was just we started to talk about it last week and we kind of ran out of time.
Well, I think a commissioner should be a member of the county council, or somebody should be a member of the Rotary.
I have no problem with paying the membership. but I think maybe we ought to think of a more general policy, not just Rotary, because, you know, being a member to the Y or different clubs. I mean, should we set a policy on, you know?
Well, why is a personal use thing? Being involved with an organization, a civic organization, is a different.
Well, I mean, it's networking. It's
You know, Kiwanis meets on Tuesdays. I mean, that's another thing that maybe somebody should be involved in too. But
well,
Tuesdays is hard for us.
that's what I'm saying. Maybe we're to actually have a broader policy instead of deciding just
I think
one.
a policy that we should put into place, county council brought it up, the commissioners need to have their own budget for certain things, whether it be out of town meetings or whether it be organizations. And isn't that kind of what you said?
Well, that's what Wyandotte County does. Yeah, it makes some sense.
Oh, you're not making these decisions like this. So. And I would probably rejoin the Rotary if it's what everybody wanted to do. I haven't been a member for 3 or 4 years. I know that's where if there's movers and shakers in this community, that's where they are. I don't know if Steve Kaplanger's still a member. There's lots of people from outside the city of Atchison are members. So.
Well, I don't think it's a question of the dues. It's the meals.
Yeah, but see, like I said, I think actually the meals is only $10. It's that extra foundation money that they throw in with the meals. It was $980 for the meals and that extra money for the foundation, if I recall right.
I think the foundation should be paid by the individual. It's a donation.
That was the meals. You meet once a month, it'll be 120 meals. So 800.
No, meets every week.
Oh, every week. 40.
I think he said the meals are $10.
It seemed like it wasn't the dues that when we had discussed it in previous years, it wasn't the dues, it was the meals and the other charges. So maybe we ought to look and see exactly what that is, what those charges are, and have this discussion again. I mean, maybe set more of a policy as far as, you know, because there's other clubs. I mean, what should we have? One member can be members of many different clubs and have the county pay for it, or are they going to have one at the behest of the county? I mean, because there's Lions Club, there's Knights of Columbus, there's all of these different things that you could honestly say, well, there's a lot of business people and connections and everything else. So I think to me it's
$18.75 a week. $18.75 a week. Yes, I don't know what to do. The $980, I divide that by 52, it comes to about $18.75 a week.
So I think maybe we ought to just think about it a little bit more and see if we think we just want to make a policy, which would be in a couple of weeks when we do our reorganizational thing. Maybe we'll have it.
Find out, or I'll find out, or
if you want to find out what those dues are, and think about it more. Pat, is there anything more on that? No. Do we need any executive session for anything?
Or something else was asked Pat. Oh, should we send a letter to Tom Benjamin? Or should we?
I think a political decision, but I think it would be a good idea to invite him or anybody.
I'd invite him up to the.
Well, is he the only one? Should we have a?
Well, he's the only one that's taken time to write.
When we went public a year ago, I think I had two. One was for it, one was against it. One was against it. Her father was there. She was worried about the cost of the care.
Yeah.
And the other one said, "Oh, that's a no-brainer." I wonder. The majority of the people think that we just make all kinds of money.
Yeah. Well, it's razor thin, and it can start costing us money at some point. But maybe we should ask Tom. mean, like I said, I tried to speak to him, and I'm sending you a letter. Well,
I would invite him up. If he wants to come up, fine. If he doesn't, that's his chance to talk.
I think an email to him or
email.
an invitation somehow. I don't know which format would be the best, but and just say, please come up and talk to us about it.
Do you want me to send him a letter?
Sure.
I need the
yeah, I think that's
the letter to get the address.
Green Street. I remember something like 823 Green or something like that.
908 Green Street. Okay. Is there anything else? Let me go through my blue notebook again, make sure I got everything. Oh, we have the.
We're going to sponsor 2 tables. Have we got commitments to fill the 2 tables for the chambers on the 27th?
That would be Michelle.
Probably not yet. I don't know if she sent out any emails.
Okay.
I know she made a comment about doing that because I told her about it. I can ask
think we
her.
put in for 2, 4.
And I bring a couple guests if there were spaces available. And,
Well, we probably need to look through the clothes.
that's,
You and your
yeah.
wife plan on coming? I don't know. Okay.
So you had 5 for sure, right?
Well, 2, 4, 5.
That's what I'm saying. 5 for sure. I will let her know for sure, and then to see what
So we
she's.
need 11 more. 11 more people. I think it's 8 to.
Let's set a deadline
Mm-hmm.
by the 8th of January.
So I believe it's the 27th. So
It is, but he's saying set a deadline for when you want how many, who's going.
Yeah.
To get the tables filled.
So you want the deadline by the meeting
I'm
on the
just thinking
9th,
January
or-
8th, January 8th,
January 8th?
or 9th, or
Yeah, 9th is our
That's
meeting.
given.
So.
That's given.
I think it's plenty of
January
time.
9th, okay.
Talk to spouses. And,
Okay, I have the bill for the Kansas Association of Counties membership for 2018, and total balance due is $4,051.64.
we need a motion to.
Like filming it up to them for what they do. It's got to belong.
I don't know what their governmental. I mean, I don't know if they're out lobbying for things for the county. I don't know if there's legal advice available.
We have got some benefits from that.
So I mean, it doesn't take long for to get some of that stuff to eat up $4,000. I mean,
I'd say they're about ready for a new leader too, so that can change that.
K.S.A. due formulation is unchanged. The formulation used to allocate the dues is all members pay a base fee of $500, which generates the $52,500. If all the counties join, then the remaining balance of their cost of operation is split equally and allocated to the counties on population at 50% and assessed valuation 50%. So that brings us to a total, and no county pays more than $16,887 in dues, which would be probably
a good deal for us.
yeah.
Well, I'd move that we join for next year. Maybe we need to have an update on what's available to us. Because we look at the website and find that out.
I wonder when this is due by.
We just have it back today.
Probably just got it. I don't see.
I'm planning on going to local government day in Topeka. Are you guys planning on going to that?
I went last year, yes. I haven't got any information on it yet.
Well, the only thing I've seen on is the League of Cities
League of Municipalities?
Facebook page.
Oh.
So I think if you go on their website, you can. Well, they're the people who are the ones that get the registration, or maybe they can't.
It's huge. Last year it was, I got emails on it, and I signed up, and I went last year.
I think signing up for it is basically just
I believe I was there 2 or 3 years ago.
It's the chance for us to talk to our representatives, Senator Paul, and
The year I went, it was basically a field trip. See how pretty the Capitol is. So it was shortly after they got moving on.
yeah, which is pretty incredible.
It's been a lot of money.
This does seem like a lot of money for membership.
For what we get out of it.
We want to postpone that.
Well, there's a motion. Is it dying for a lack of second? Or?
Well, I mean, we started talking.
Yeah, we're in
I
discussion.
would second it because we get Nathan, but for what we get out of it, of course, I guess we get to go to their meetings and we do learn something off their meetings, but we pay for those as well. But
Yeah.
we do get information from them, so I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any other further discussion? It's been moved and seconded to,
I wonder what the percentage of participation is. 100%?
oh, no,
Several.
there's quite a few counties that do not. And I don't know, I would say, my guess is 10 to 15 counties that don't belong for sure, maybe more. It doesn't say how many counties. Participate, which do not. So it's been moved and seconded to join K.A.C. again for the next year. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passed 3-0.
Well, that'll give us
I think that
another year and maybe some other things like what we talked about earlier comes into play that we may.
yeah,
It sound like a lot of the stuff that Mark could do, they should be doing, such as joint purchasing and programs out there, grant writing. And
I have utilized Nathan Eberline several times
Yes.
as far as different informational things, and I do think that the training at the K.A.C. conference is great. Again, they're moving it to a time this next year where I don't think I can attend because it's going to be during harvest, and I'm not going to sign up early for it because of just commitments. But I think maybe we need to explore this for this next year, if possible. Leaving that go. Okay. I told you about the K-Camp reimbursement on programs in the amount of $450. And all the rest of this is signed. Double check the bills. Did we all sign these? Yes. Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn at 2:10?
that's so moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Passed 3-0. We are adjourned. Oh, it's hot in here.